Hi, this is Dean from DCarsonCPA, DCarsonCPA and GRLSTEM. We're just doing a couple of test shots today, get some videos up. We hope the sound quality is better. That's the goal right here. I got to speak a little louder on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm trying not to boom out to be so obstructive. The conversation I'm having is one to help you as a leader to improve. So on some levels, it's not something that I want to be booming out about, but it is something that's very important. If you have the patience to think about the ways that financial, legal, technology, and teamwork flow to your business, you've got an opportunity to learn and grow and to benefit from 25 years of experience we've had in 10 years in deep research, which was about our drop of rain, but how that goes into the ripple effect of the economy and how we can learn. So there's a couple points of the knowledge of hands-on skills and services to work with financial, legal, technology, and teamwork, the communications ability to help you, communications ability to strengthen teamwork, because you know and I know there's many points where entities fail or lose momentum or lose opportunities or encounter risk because communication chains break down, and there are people at the very entrance point. And accounting is a good example. Accounts payable, someone receives something, policy comes in, it might have descriptive dates, might have a descriptive number, helps on risk management and resilience, but you don't get it in that line, and then you got a problem. Let's suppose someone received something, they didn't accurately encode critical business knowledge to help your business in tough times, it didn't get into the system, you didn't have a backup system off site. Now what could happen is you've got a lost opportunity where someone at the beginning of the line didn't realize what the end of the line needed to help on risk management and recovery. And then let's say you have a critical business interruption event, you lose the ability to access a building, you have no off-site backup, and you have no way to bring your business back up online. It's just a quick way to jump into it, but it's kind of, there are lots of micro steps that map into macro steps, and if you get it all right, you become a better decision maker. Doesn't mean any day is perfect. There's always a cost benefit constraint. There's always a point where you can do a certain amount of points, but money does not stretch endlessly. It stretches across unlimited wants and needs and relatively scarce resources. So there's a prioritized spend in any entity of any size. It just differs in nature, relational to size. And we work within that constraint, that basic rules of economics, cost benefit constraints, but then working with financial, legal, technology, and teamwork to think across the value of spend and how to bring lean and agile support to your business, to think in terms of domestic responsibilities to citizen stakeholders, to allied partners that can help with similar lines to the value of humanity and human rights and dignity, and then moving on to the lines of the global perspective of how it all fits together for industry, nonprofit, government, and community lines. Our path is one of growth to legal and economist skills, but the core skills of today are audit through CFO controlling, working extensively with financials, legal and technology and frameworks, and that gives us an advantage of a micro perspective going up to macro, as well as an ability to read the macro perspective, bring it back down to micro, and help in your lines for client, vendor, business partner, community support, interaction with the structure of entity policy and community lines, correspondence to the GGRC, commonly known as GRC lines of governance, risk, and compliance within your entity, and that extra G up front is the one that connects policy, laws, rules, manuals, forms, and filings reflective to the compliant lines to adapt and connect to those, to think about how to improve across what can frequently in large organizations be multi-stream reporting needs. So a set of our skills to work with project management, business analysis to streamline those points and help them work together better. It's mesh net. And there are lots of points of knowledge within your entity that go across siloed points, and so an agility to think across who's doing what, where, and how in your organization, having kind of a reporter set of analysis and skills can help to synthesize and strengthen what you're doing and think across multi-point stakeholders and be a facilitator to continual improvements. So I'm Dean Carson. These are my lines conceptualized and built to help on debt and deficit level challenges in the aggregate, which meant we learned at a higher level than you ordinarily are learning about just entity things. We're looking to the macro picture, but that comes down to an already in place knowledge set about the micro lines, and then getting into entity policy and community lines, which is the continual framework. And financials within that are a subset of one level of what we call air flight's approach. And there's lots of time to talk about that. This is just a quick video. Check the new mic, see if we got some good levels. And if it's good to go, it sounds good, then we're going to keep moving with it. We're going to do it more regularly so we become, again, more fluid and agile with these manners of presentations. But as far as the workflows go, it wouldn't surprise you that a lot of time we're working the back, so the communications lines are always growing. We're working on that. Obviously, that's one of the growth points. We're talking with you, we're communicating with you. We've spent a lot of time in communication lines. That strengthens our ability in what had historically been noted as a deficit point for financial skills in the economy, the ability to communicate. So a long history of having worked across multi-stream communications has been an exercise which has helped us to grow in agility to do that for you. The aptitude of that is to work externally in compliant communications to help on growth, risk, and logistics of your organization. That's kind of the NERI and the PRSA world. Some of that needs additional compliance work. We can do whatever in a sponsored role to go up there, or from our capacity, what we're mostly focused on just the compliant teamwork to help you out. And growth and registered lines, be that analyst or other stuff, we're always open to that. We're always working for that. But that's sponsored. If you need licenses from us in respect of those things, then what we need you to do is sponsor us, put some money on the table, and we can pursue things in that respective. So for the meantime, this remains focused on strategy, operations, and the internal lines, where analyst skills can help an organization to know its spot in the economy, how it connects to entity policy and community lines, and how it can work on continual growth. So that's our role. We're continually on a roll to help in improvements, and I hope that you see the skills that we have and the many different areas where we can learn and grow and add value is all stuff that can help you. It's available for teaching needs on the academia lines, it's available for training needs on the corporate institutional lines, and it is an engine to us to keep inspired to help you to learn to be better at your per sector needs, to be better at aggregate economic needs, and eventually it will pave the way for us to have economist and legal skills to help on the problems we have in policy, where we can see that policy is set as economic, statistic, and legal levels, but sometimes, many times, there's an incomplete support level in accounting. So if you could look at it and wonder about what problems we might have, you could consider that a rational problem of government is value per spend, or a nonprofit is value per spend, or an entity is how far can we get that spend to what we want in growth, risk, and logistics. I'm Dean Carson, that's a call, and I'll call you back soon. No, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.